Hey everyone, this is Cami with Brook. I'm going to be showing you a quick evening routine that you can do before bed or really anytime during the day. You can do it on your bed, on the floor, underneath the covers, or on top of the sheets, whatever works best for you. But this stretch helps to get you into that mindset of falling to sleep and hopefully drifting off to a restful sleep. So we're going to start by lying on our bed, and it might help to leave yourself some space on the edge of the bed as we're going to do some stretches that require us to bend to either side. You'll see in a minute, but having that space might be helpful. So the first stretch that we're going to do is we are going to put ourselves at a 90-degree angle with our hips, having our legs straight out on the bed and feet towards the end of the bed. So we're going to do a forward fold first. Now with this forward fold, this just involves us folding over our legs, touching our toes or touching our calf muscles here. So we'll go into the forward fold. It's important to remember that with each stretch to try to hold that stretch for at least 30 seconds to allow your muscles to lengthen and elongate with that stretch. So with the forward fold, we're going to put our hands towards our feet like so. Don't worry if you cannot reach your feet, that's okay. Do the best you can or do what you can during this stretch. Also is important to understand how your back and your neck area is curving during this stretch. So you might be inclined to collapse into the neck area and the back curving a little bit like this. Try to straighten that out as much as possible because that reduces unnecessary strain when you're doing this stretch. So through here we can close our eyes and take a couple deep cleansing breaths. Or we can keep our eyes open, whatever feels good to us. You can try to touch your toes to elongate that stretch a little bit more, or you can, bring yourself up to here and if you can hold right here to elongate that stretch, then that's totally fine. All right, so we're going to come up from our elongated 90-degree angle stretch to sitting upright, and we are going to either keep our legs out straight or put them into a crisscross, like a loose crisscross pattern like this. Crisscross applesauce kind of pattern. Either one that works best for you. And again, maybe shift towards the middle of the bed if that works better. So I'm going to do both variations, but the first one is to do a spine stretch by elongating our arm muscles up to the ceiling, holding them up here, interlacing our fingers like this up to the sky or the ceiling, and just feeling that stretch as we go in. So with this stretch, we can go to either side for a small bend. So we can go here to the right or the left side and go over to the right side for a small stretch to stretch out our oblique muscles. I'll show you what that looks like with our arms or our legs pointed out at the 90-degree angle. So stretch up and over to the side and over to this side. Okay, and you might notice too with the bed, if you feel like it's a little bit unstable, to help support that 90-degree angle, go ahead and sit on the ground and do that because the bed might be, depending on the type of bed that you have, I think mine is memory foam, so it's a little squishier than I would like. But yeah, you can test that out and see which one works best. So for the next stretch, we're going to take our leg over and kind of do a pretzel stretch and go into a pretzel stretch. So we're going to have our opposite leg, whatever leg that we aren't stretching out, to be flat on the ground or flat on the bed, and we're going to take opposite arm to opposite elbow to opposite knee. Put our opposite hand back here to stabilize us, and then turn our head this way to meet our hand. All right, then we're going to switch legs. Put our opposite elbow to opposite knee, hand over here to stabilize, and look in the direction in which you are twisting. And with this, you don't want to force the twist, just let gravity do its work within the low back and the hip area here. You might feel some release throughout your hip area and your hamstring area. Okay, now is the fun part. So getting to the bottom of the bed where your feet might touch off the bed, just trying to make enough space for you to elongate all the way out wide on your bed into a full body stretch. So with this full body stretch, you want to make sure that you aren't hitting your headboard or your wall or whatever is at the top of the bed, or the bottom of the bed if you have a footboard. But you're allowing your arms to have enough space to come down parallel with the bed. You might want to move some pillows if you get a chance, and just do that whole body stretch. So you can take a couple elongating breaths here. Really feel that stretch out. Maybe point your toes towards the wall or towards the opposite ends. You could even do a slight turn with your stretch where you're kind of turning into the opposite side to stretch your arm here. And do the other side. Just get a small stretch there, go back to middle. You should feel this stretching kind of throughout your spine and through most of your body. So once we're done with that stretch, we'll go into the other stretches that are lying in this position. So the next stretch we'll go into is with our knees. We can do two different variations of the stretch. So you could bring your knees to your stomach, knees to chest, like I'm doing here, and leave your opposite leg out long like this, and just hold it. You don't have to force your knee in like this, just let gravity kind of do its work with you holding your knee here. You should feel a stretch within your leg muscles on the side here. Or if you want to do a different variation, you can put this knee over across the body and look this way with your arm and your head. Either one works. With this stretch that I'm doing here, you're getting some stretching through the back body and through your arms. But this stretch here will do kind of the same, it just won't stretch your back as much. So if you have back injury, or if you have a back condition or anything like that, you might want to check to make sure that you aren't twisting your back in any direction and all of that, so that you're not creating more injury or creating more strain in that area. So we'll go to the opposite leg that we didn't have up. And again, you can do any of these varieties as you would like. We'll go over. You might hear some cracking. Go over and stretch this way with this arm looking, my head looking this way. And again, don't force these stretches, just let them, happen as they happen. If you feel any pain, go back to your baseline, which is laying on the ground or on your back on the bed, to reset. So go here. All right, so now we're on the bed. We're kind of starfished out here. So with that, this is the ending of our stretching routine here. So we should be ending laying on the ground or laying on our bed like we would be if we're going to bed. So we're just going to do some breathing exercises now with our time throughout the rest of this video. And these breathing exercises might help to get you into that full state of sleep and that restful state, knowing that you are turning off your mind and are taking a couple minutes for yourself. Again, with the stretching video, you don't have to do the entirety of it. You could do parts of it, or you could just jump straight to the breathing part, whatever works best for you in that day. You know what's best. So with the breathing, let's put our hands on our stomachs. The reason why I suggest doing this when you start to breathe, if you've never done deep breathing before or any type of breathing activity, is to understand where your breath is going. So sometimes our breaths can be in the chest cavity, which creates a shallower breath sometimes. So with deep breathing, we want to feel our stomach rising and lowering with each breath to make sure that we are utilizing all of that space through our diaphragm to take that breath. So that's why I say have the fingers interlaced. You could do one hand here on the stomach and one hand on the chest to kind of get more idea of where your breathing is going and just to kind of be mindful of it. Whatever variation works best for you. So we'll take a couple breaths, deep breaths in through our nose and then let them out through our mouths to get started. So let's take the deep breath in and out. In and out. In and out. In and out. And out. And during this, you can have your eyes open, kind of gaze lower towards the ceiling. Maybe not straight up at the ceiling, but down a little bit. Or you can close your eyes to kind of, again, get yourself into that mode of sleep and rest. Take a deep breath in and out. In and out. So really with this deep breathing activity, you can do it however often or however long you might need. It could be as simple as 30 seconds, or it could be a few minutes while you get ready for bed or while you're conditioning your body into that sleep cycle. Whatever works best for you. So hopefully you enjoyed these stretches and this nighttime routine, or you could do it anytime during the day. All it involves is a floor or a harder surface, like the floor with a yoga mat or a twice rolled towel to give some padding, or you could do it on top of your bed, whatever works best. As I said before, it could be a couple minutes or it could be a couple seconds. Just depends on what you're needing that evening and what you're wanting to add to your routine. Let the Brook experts know if you have any questions or want to create a routine for your sleep habits, or maybe you want to share with how your sleep routines are going once you've tried this habit. Let them know what you're thinking and how they can best help. We'll talk soon.